We're at Hawaiian Mission Houses.
Well, we can. For Americans who came on boats, but they sailed away on boats. California was still part of Mexico. There were, and they said, we are missionaries. That's kind of hard. Every tree you're looking at has been planted here in the last 200 years. So we are standing close to where the ocean used to be. What we've done is to fill in along the shoreline. Why do you suppose there's a door up there with no steps? Hold supplies up to the second floor and the door would open and the bag down to the ground. It weighs about 100 pounds. But because and it's cool. So this building, have you been to any of the old Spanish missions in California? Where you are standing right now is about where these two people are on that pathway. This building was put there in 1831. We're going to go inside this house, which was built in 1821. And it's still here. It doesn't have a kitchen. So you think, well, what makes it a house? They used grass for the roof. Not tile, they used grass. That look like this. And people weren't very tall. Then they took it apart and put them back together. So we can actually go inside and we'll do that. You're walking on oak. You know what? If you came to visit the missionaries, or maybe you were from another part of the island and it's too far to walk to go home, then you could stay here for the night. Now, what kind of bed do you have? You have one like this? Their bed was made out of rope. So no springs, just rope. And then there was a bag full of leaves left on top of that. So Hawaiians like to be on the floor. So have a seat. Tell me if it's hard, soft, comfortable, or okay. Would you sleep there? Maybe a little harder than your bed? Okay. But this, if the guest was a host bed, they wanted to sleep on a Hawaiian bed. And the Hawaiian bed usually had maybe 15 or 20 of these mats just piled up, so that would become softer than a hard floor. DANUS. When the leaves turn brown, they fall off. I don't live here, but it's still possible to buy. Make a left turn. They all ate together and they would say a prayer. The plates that they used, the first group that came, all their plates broke. Plates get dropped. And sometimes we have school kids, and not plastic. Nobody had plastic yet. So, but they would make the handles. Notice it's rusty. Steel. Yeah, it's a steel that doesn't rust. This was steel that rusted. So you might small glass of wine with supper. Says, take a little wine for your stomach's sake. Make you feel better. Hello again. So you live in a house?
Yeah.
Okay, do mommy and daddy have a room?
Yeah.
Do you have a room?
Yeah.
Does your sister have a room?
I don't have a sister.
Your brother have a room?
Yeah.
Or do you two share one room?
No.
No, you have yours, he has his. Well, it's bed. The bed, by the way, was made in New England. It's not made here in Hawaii, but it's the bed for mom and dad. When a baby was born, they put the baby in a, what's this?
A crib?
Well, you have one. Like when your friends come over, you have a place for them to sleep.
Trundle?
Trundle. A trundle bed was a bed under the bed.
Ah, okay.
So this family had 3 children, 3 kids in that little bed.
Oh.
Wash your hands. So does have a cup and a piece of soap. You get this wet, you make soap suds, and then you paint your face so you can shave it. And Mr. Loomis did that every morning. Poured it in here. This is a sandstone filter. In about an hour, you'd have some water in the bucket that was not so yucky. Empty. And they needed something for cooking. You could pour about a liter in each of these, and within the hour, you'd have some water that would be okay to cook with. Tea. Everything got cooked in the fireplace. Do you have a fireplace in your house?
Yes, but we don't use it.
Yes, you do, and you don't use it. And let's ask Dad, who cooks in your family, Mom, Dad, or both? Both.
Mostly my wife.
Do they ever make stews, or do they make bread, or do you just go buy bread in the store? You mix flour and maybe eggs, depends on the kind of bread you're. Their bread oven. You like our rubber bread? Yeah, you wouldn't want to eat that. Oh, in here, and the oven is warm as bread. It's no longer gooey and sticky. You could put an egg on this and hold it in the fireplace and it would get hot. You could cook something like that. Number 2, burned. So finally they made the walls out of coral stones and they plastered the wall so it looks kind of nice. And they figured. But in 1820 they dug a big hole in the ground and they put these bricks for floor. And this is where Mr. Chamberlain stored all of his stuff. So if you need containers for something like that, soap, have you ever seen it feels a little bit yucky. You know, it doesn't feel like soap that you may have in your bathroom. Does Mom have a kitchen sponge? That's a real sponge. It grew. Sponges grow in the ocean. So they had sponges. And this is a pill maker. He would roll stuff into a long, skinny, looks like a cigarette. And then you could actually use this to cut that into little pills. Tablet. In 1820, everybody had a tablet. What is it? What do you do with it?
You write on it?
Yeah, it's you know what chalk is? Everybody would have a chalkboard, and when you wrote stuff, all you do is just wipe it off, and then you could use it again. But this is a missionary tablet. 2 sides. Does your mom keep a diary? Anybody in your family write stuff down? All kinds of stuff that a missionary family might say they need. Moving around the table.
Sandwich mission?
Yeah. What are the Sandwich Islands? It's an old name for Hawaii. Captain Cook called them the Sandwich Islands. Money to help Captain Cook with his trip. So, got more things. If you're really title, Lord something. And there was actually, believe it or not, a Lord Sandwich. That was his title.
Wait, where are
Now, if you went to see people in Kansas or Nebraska, there would be a large steel tub, and it's usually what they missed. To show. So we just basically.
Thank you.
So, we actually have a staff member who can make this work. I cannot. But used to be, you would set type and you put ink on the type, you put a piece of paper on it. This would hold the paper from moving around. Then this slides underneath, and this is called the press, meaning it presses down on the paper and then pull it back, and then you slide this back out and lift up the cover and peel off the paper. What you have, so there is a piece of paper that's been, you peel it off of there, so this becomes 2 pages of a book. This stick would fit in here, and this would press down so you could put all the paper.